Hi, my name is Jess. This is my week for field study, and I will be interviewing Sister Danielle. Hi.
Hi.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. As you said, my name is Sister Danielle, and I am originally from New Jersey. And between my parents, I'm an only child, and I had attended Catholic school from kindergarten to university level. And I have studied music ed is my undergrad, and then a master's in spirituality and counseling at this time. So,
Great. Well, you told us a little bit about your family. How did you celebrate holidays?
Well, I'm Italian, so we always had the Italian traditions. We always went to my grandparents as we celebrated every holiday, whether it was big or just family birthdays and things like that. So family was a big deal.
Okay. Is it Italians that do the seven fishes?
Yes, we did the
Oh,
seven
that's
fishes.
exciting.
Yeah.
Good.
Of course, pasta.
Good. That sounds fun. What age did you decide you wanted to become a sister?
I was thinking about it in sophomore year of high school, but I was like, God could not be calling me to religious life and giving up everything. Well, boy, I was wrong on that. When I was deciding on where I wanted to go for college, I went to Immaculata for an audition. And as soon as I went there, I fell in love with the school and also the sisters, because I had never had the sister servants of the Immaculate Heart of Mary. So it was really my end of my freshman year when I truly decided this is what God's calling me to. So I wanted to enter my sophomore year, but my parents refused to sign. So,
Okay. Explain a little bit more about that process.
Okay. When you want to be a sister, when I was entering, if you weren't 21, you had to have your parents' consent.
Okay.
Which I was a little upset about because I'm like, the world considers you an adult, but religious life doesn't. So, ironically, after the year I entered, they changed that rule because there are parents that aren't always happy about their daughters entering religious life. So, those 3 years of formation allows you to decide whether or not you're really being called to this vocation. And even though it was a bumpy start, because my parents were so adamant about me not entering, they asked me to leave, so I didn't live home for the 6 months before I entered, because I entered right out of college.
Wow, that must have been difficult.
It was, but I think God gave me that trial at that point, which made my 3 years of formation a breeze.
Oh, yeah.
Where
absolutely.
other people may have had a struggle during that time, I didn't.
That's a good way to think about it.
Because I really had to decide, am I willing, because I really gave up everything before I entered, because my parents took everything, so.
How did you choose your order?
When I finally gave in to my vocation, I definitely I had Daughters of Mercy, which are an Italian-founded order. So I had already been with sisters, through my high school years. But there wasn't something that connected. And so I definitely, when I was looking at other orders, I wanted an order that wore a habit. I wanted an order that the Eucharist was the center of the community and that lived in community. Because there are orders where the sisters live by themselves because they're spread out. So it works better for their community. But I felt if I was giving my life to God that I wanted to live with people that believed the same thing that I did. I had looked at the sisters I looked at the Franciscans who I had in elementary school, and then when I came to audition at Immaculata and decided, I had seen the IHMs. I looked at some of the other orders, but when I realized they didn't have everything that I wanted, it wasn't really something that I was being drawn to. So the way I knew that I was called to the IHMs was that I just had a feeling of peace in that home. And the sisters' joyfulness, and I always wanted to be a teacher, so that helped as well, because that's primarily what our community does, our educators. So I just felt the most called to be in IHM because of their charism, which is their spirit and the joy and the compassion that they have. So that emptiness that I felt in my heart was filled.
Yeah. For those who don't know, what does IHM stand for?
It stands for Sister Servants of the Immaculate Heart of Mary. So we go by AKA IHMs because it's so long.
Right.
So, and that's the 3 initials that we put at the end of our name when we sign them.
Talk a little bit about the name.
Oh, okay. My baptismal name is Danielle. So when I decided your second year of formation, you decide on a name that you would like to be called in religious life. It's not as much of a custom now to change your full name like it was when the sisters previously entered. I have a great devotion to the little flower, Saint Therese, so I added my religious name is Sister Danielle Therese. My full baptismal name is Sister Danielle Barbara Rosina Tatey. So actually my religious name is shorter than my baptismal name.
Oh, that's so interesting. Okay. What has been your most rewarding experience in religious life?
I would have to say the awesomeness to be able to teach young people, no matter, I've taught elementary and now high school, about God, and that I hope that they learn as much from me as that I learn from them. And also another aspect, and why I wanted to be a visible witness as a religious, is because I could be anywhere and people are drawn to come up and share their sufferings or their pain, and they don't see me as someone that would be judgmental. They see someone who represents, I guess, love and compassion and God, for whatever God that they pray to, because they're not always Catholics that approach me.
That's interesting.
So I consider that a gift, that someone would feel that they could share the most intimate thing with me and something that they may be suffering through.
That's great. And then one last question. What one piece of advice would you give someone considering a vocation as a sister?
I would definitely say, always pray. But you have to, there comes a point in your life where you have to follow your heart. You can't always listen to what everyone else is saying around you. And if it's really meant to be, you will find peace. And I think, society puts such a negative twist on faith, and especially religious life and the priesthood. So I think, when someone really feels that God's calling them, to pursue it and to keep an open heart and open mind. That doesn't mean you stop living life. It's that you find a balance to see if this is really where you're meant to be. And commitment. We don't see it enough. So I think, look to the people that you admire in your life. And, you will have the support in the end, even if you don't have it now. Right. That's another aspect that I would put in there. So.
Well, great. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. It was a privilege.
Yeah, thank you for listening.